All right, that is brand new music from the artist, the one and only, the legend, the queen of metal herself, Doro. And on the phone right now we have Doro Pesch. Doro, how are you?
Hey, very good. Thank you for having me, Chris. All is great, and yeah.
Excellent. Well, Doro, obviously a very busy time for you, one of the busier times. You've actually been very busy for probably the last 5 to 10 years now, but this seems to be one of the biggest, busiest times that you've had in quite a while, huh?
Yes, yeah, you're right. And man, doing records, touring all over the world, and playing festivals. And the last DVD actually was a couple of years ago. So yeah, but it feels good, and it feels that metal is coming back in such a huge way. So that's great. And yeah, and since I love going out on the road, that's like, I'm really happy right now.
Sure. And now, Doro, you have this brand new record coming out, Raise Your Fist, and it's, to me, in my ears personally, it's a little bit different than what you've been doing the last couple of records. I mean, clearly it is what you do, which is, straight up hard power metal. But at the same time, it almost feels like you took a little bit of twists and turns on the record that you haven't shown, maybe all the way back to, stuff like True at Heart and Angels Never Die. Were you trying to do some different things, or were you just in a slightly different writing mode when you wrote this music, or what?
Next year my 30-year anniversary is coming up, and then I thought I want to do stuff what I can do best, and I know what fans always like what they were asking for when we were on tour, and I thought I definitely want to do a couple of really, really old school metal songs, like Die Hard headbangers, almost speed metal, and bring it, into a more modern sound. But I know live, that's always was always a highlight when we played Burning the Witches or I Rule the Ruins. So I definitely want to do, stuff what I know fans would love. Yeah, and then the anthems I always love, and I think this album has a lot of anthems like Raise Your Fist in the Air or Rock Till Death or Victory. And I wanted to, get, of course, some nice ballads, because I love singing ballads. I love nice melodies and soul and feeling. And I just wanted to try to do the best of the best and learn from previous records. I think now the heavy songs, they sound really balls to the walls, sound more fat, more heavy, and we have two great guests too, which is always a great honor to work with fantastic people. And I know the fans, they're always happy when there's something, a surprise or something exciting on the record. So we have two guests. One time is Gus G, the guitar player of Ozzy Osbourne and Firewind. He plays a great solo, and then doing the song It Still Hurts together with Lemmy of Motorhead, and that's for me so special. And it's always great to have Lemmy singing on any song, and this one is a ballad, and I think it's very different, very soulful, and I think very unique, and it's great to have Lemmy and Gus, and
Sure. Well, Doro, one of the things that's always interesting about your career, and I mean, people obviously, Burn the Witches came out in 83 or 84. I mean, eons and eons ago. But it's always interesting with your career that your voice is still as strong today as it was, 30 years ago. How is it that you've been able to keep that up when so many of your contemporaries in the world of metal have seen their voice deteriorate, from touring and whatnot? And I mean, you're always actively touring. You're always on tour. It's not like you go 5 years in between albums or anything. So how have you been able to keep your voice so fresh throughout the entire history of your band?
Yeah, I think, Chris, that's probably the secret, being on the road a lot. Like, I guess, the voice can be like a muscle, and, when you always use it, I think it gets stronger and stronger, like when you work out a lot, and then when you're not working out, then stuff goes. But I think it's from touring, and when I see the fans, then I can always sing 10 times better than if I would be alone, just in the studio with an engineer. When I see the fans, when I have the fans in the back of my mind, because in the studio sometimes it is lonely, but I always somehow I feel the energy of the fans. Or I know I want to sing this song for this kind of person or for this kind of fan base. So that always keeps me strong and always keeps me highly motivated, highly inspired, and my only and true secret is probably the fans and the fan base, and everything else just then flows. And and of course I love to sing. I love metal, and I'm always the happiest when I can perform live or when I can sing. So and I must say, like, when I started in the 80s, it was great. Metal was huge. And then in the 90s, when suddenly metal wasn't so big anymore, when grunge was, much bigger, then I thought, oh God, if it ever will come back, then I will, never let it go anymore. And now I think I can appreciate it much more than in the 80s.
Sure. And so now, Doro, obviously you travel and tour, the world. And your career is not solely based in the United States like so many American artists, to where you have pockets all over the world where you're successful. Now, obviously, the political climate all over the world is crazy, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
When you go to different countries now, do you see like really, really widely different attitudes of people as you go because of the differences in political structure that everybody's going through across the world?
Yes, actually, yes, you can definitely see it. Like, the surroundings are much different. The fans, I think, when they're metal fans, they are pretty much all over the world the same, like great, good-hearted people, intense, honest, energetic, passionate. So I think the fans are, like, worldwide pretty much the same. I mean, here and there some little mentality differences, but not much. But yeah, the surroundings, like, you're always dependent on the political situation, if you even can play, and what to play. For example, when I wanted to tour in China, then I had to at first, like, send in all the songs, all the lyrics, and there was, like, actually, they were, thinking of, like, doing censorship, and then I thought, oh, okay, but I want to play. So I said, okay, I will play by the rules. But then when we went into China, and then I played everything, even my favorite tune of Judas Priest was Breaking the Law, and I thought, yeah, let's do it. So, but getting into certain countries, that's very difficult. But I must say, the people, they are all over the world, the same. Everybody wants the same. They want, they want to be loved. They want to hear great music.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And but the political situation sometimes it dictates what you can do or where to play, and we always try to sometimes make a compromise to go into the country to play, but it's sometimes sometimes you feel not so safe either. You never know what can happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, Doro, another thing that we've been hearing is that there's going to be a Warlock reunion. Is that correct?
Oh, actually, I didn't hear that yet. I don't know. There's always some rumors, and I got the rights to the name back. So actually now, it's not anymore, so difficult because we couldn't perform under the name Warlock for many years, but I got the rights to the name back, so actually it could be possible, but there are no plans right now, but maybe in the future. But so far we haven't talked. I didn't talk to all the other guys in the band, and some band members, they gave up music, so if we would do something, it would be probably not the original lineup, but so far, no plans yet.
Okay. Well, and in reality, I mean, when you listen to the Warlock records and then you listen to the solo records, there's really not that much difference in style anyway, right? It's not like you would have to, it's not like you would have to go back and like relearn to write Warlock songs. I mean, all we are is pretty similar to everything that you've done,
Yeah, Chris, it's all the same to me, like, and when I wrote like All We Are, I Rule the Rules, or Hellbound, it was all the same. And since I wrote many of the songs, or most of them, And I never planned on doing a solo career. It was just because we lost the name right. And there was actually then, the next best thing. The record company said, hey, why don't you call it Doro? And then I thought, okay, we call it Doro for one record. And then we go back to the name Warlock, but it never got to that. So it took like 20 years to get the rights back. But, to me, that's one and the same, of course. And I always play all the old Warlock tunes, of course.
Sure. Well, Doro, this is one...
Chris, do you hear a strange echo? I hear myself 2 or 3 times. I hope you guys don't.
No, I don't. Actually, I haven't heard it.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm back overseas, so sometimes technology is like, doing their own thing, but that's good. Okay, when you can hear me good.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Doro, one of the things that I'm always interested in with musicians is their equipment, and it's interesting with a singer versus, a guitar player, because guitar players, it's obvious they get endorsements for their strings and their pickups and their, the actual guitars that they play and whatnot, and certainly singers get endorsements for their microphones, and whatnot, but for an artist like you that's been out there so long, do you get like maybe the Striggle company coming up to you and asking you to try out their microphone, or the astronomy amplifier companies coming up and asking you to maybe switch from Marshalls to Striggles or whatever? I mean, do you get that kind of thing happening a lot to you?
Yeah, Chris, but I must say, I always take care of my band. The band is always first, like the guitar players or, the bass player. So, when they have like a new company, like being interested, that's cool. But to me, I can sing over anything. It doesn't matter. I'm not picky. I just spelled it out. It doesn't matter. And actually, I love more the good old down dirty rock and roll stuff. So even a cable microphone, I don't care, as long as the fans are there, I just give it my all. But in the studio, I'm of course more picky. But whatever feels good. So I'm not. I see it. Like one time, I remember Gene Simmons. He said something great to my bass player, because we were doing this one record together, and she was writing many songs and producing it. And for me, it was a dream come true, being a big Kiss fan, to even have the chance to work with Gene Simmons. That was awesome. So one time my bass player, he said, hey, so Gene, what kind of strings do you use, and what kind of bass? And, and they wanted to talk tech talk. And then Gene said, you know what, give me a piece of wood and I can write you a hit song. And that's how I see it too. And I think it doesn't really matter. Of course, when stuff is good, that's great. And I always, try to have the best stuff for my band. But for myself, I just give me a good old microphone. That's cool. And and usually sometimes I use the Shure, and wireless is good. But if there's a cable, I'm cool.
Right. Awesome.
Probably old school.
Well, Doro, obviously there's a lot going on in the Doro camp. Where can people go online to keep up with what you're doing and, tour dates and whatnot?
Yeah, actually, there are so many websites. The Doro.de, that's one website. It's always pretty much updated. Then Johnny D, our drummer, he's doing the Facebook. It is Doro Band. And a great guy, Tony, he's doing our American website. It's dororocks.net. Yeah, and then I guess all over. And, we're going on tour in the States in February. I'm so excited. I'm so looking forward. And we do the 70,000 tons of metal before the tour. So January, February is all playing all over. And,
Sure. Excellent. Well, Doro, we're gonna end the interview with a new song off of Raise Your Fist. Why don't you go ahead and pick it and maybe tell us a little story about the song?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I want to pick the song. Actually, the duet with Lemmy, because Lemmy means the world to me. I love him so much. It was such a great honor to have Lemmy sing on this song, on this record. And we're friends for a long, long time. And so here it is. It's a ballad. Check it out. I think it's very special. And I'm melting away when I hear Lemmy sing. It's called It Still Hurts.
Excellent. Well, check it out right now. This is Doro with the one and only Lemmy right here on your Classic Metal Show.